Morning. It's about 2:30 in the morning, and we're going to transfer some of the chicks to the brooder so that it makes room for the other ones to hatch. Take the bag shells out. We have 2 baby buttons that hatched, along with several of the Texas A&M, and there's at least one of our 3rd generation or 2nd generation browns. I don't want to open this anymore than I have to, and as you can see, the condensation on the top of the glass. So when I open this up, I've got some hot water I'm going to put into that little trough to help bring the humidity back up after I open this up, so it'll help keep these hatching. I'm going to take a clean rag and I'm going to wipe some of the condensation off the glass so that while they're still hatching we can see. I gotta do this all in one fell sweep. I'm going to leave the buttons in there and let the rest of them hatch because they just came out of the shell, so they've got plenty of time before they have to find something to eat. And what they're doing is they're just resting from all the breaking out of the shell. So when I open this up, I'll have Ruthie hold this light, and the button quail are down on this end, and there's a couple of Texas A&M that jumped over the little rail there, and they're in there with them, and you'll see the difference in the size. The little quail are about this big, and the buttons are about 1/3 of that. So I'm getting ready to open it, so here we go. I've got a box ready for the babies, I've got the hot water ready for the humidifier, and here we go. Oh, little baby, come out. Gotta get babies before they... Come on, babies. Alright, see the difference in the buttons? You want to get the light on them. Look at this. This is a button. Look how big it is to a regular quail baby. Isn't it amazing? Got a baby in the corner. Come on, baby. Get in that corner. Get you 2 out of here, too, because you don't need you making a nuisance of yourself. Alright. I guess we had quite a few hatch. Texas A&M. So you little buttons are going to stay right there. You came out of your shell, and you come out of your shell. Okay. I'm going to add the water to the thing. I need the light so I can see, dear. Yeah, the water's way down. Just want to make sure all the little reservoirs are full. It goes through a lot of water. Alright, now I'm going to get as many shells out of here as I can. I'll have to go in with the babies for the time being. It's just a...
And these are the big button quail. So that's how big the button quail will be, which are house birds. They're not birds to eat. Just in case you're a new subscriber, but the quail we eat.
I can still hear babies peeping. That's an empty shell. It's hard to tell because once they pop out of there, the shell pops back over. So it looks like it's a whole baby. Alright, there's another one there. Alright, I'm going to get ready to shut this. There's another empty shell. It's right there. Doesn't matter. Alright, as you get in there, better get them empty shells up. You can see the difference in the size of the buttons compared to the other ones. Alright. Let me get this window here.
And
Let condensation out there. Maybe you can see some more hatching. Alright, here we go. Close it back up.
And for you that don't know which came first, the chicken or the egg, the chicken. The Bible says that everything was born with the seed in itself, including the chicken.
And if you're an evolutionist, the egg came first. Dinosaurs laid eggs.
Well, we don't believe in evolution.
But those that do, the egg came first.
They believe the egg came first?
Because dinosaurs laid eggs. And they were here long before chickens were.
Actually, dinosaurs and chickens walked the earth at the same time. They're in the Bible together. Did you know that, honey?
Yeah, that's what the behemoth was a dinosaur.
Yep, the behemoths in the Bible. And so God created dinosaurs. They just became extinct.
Okay.
You read it all through the Bible, you'll see dinosaurs.
All right, enough
of our Bible
talk of evolution and whatever. Let's get some babies into their natural habitat right here.
Here you guys go.
All right, here we go. There's one.
Look how little they are. I'll let him put it
back, honey.
Yeah, I know. I
pumped it. Knock your phone out of your hand.
I know it.
3, 4, 6. Some of them aren't quite dry yet. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 Texas A&Ms and 1 jumbo brown. That's Quay's baby there.
Oh, because he's a jumbo brown.
Well, he came out of the barn.
Oh yeah, okay. So the dark one, which I was wondering about his color, which I guess I thought he was just wet from being born. The dark one is the.
But as you can see, these. Let's get it over here.
Yeah, sure.
These are the difference in the size of the eggs. And the chicks are a third of these babies. These babies are tiny, but those button quail are like a third of these guys. They're cute. They'll dry off now they got the bulb, and as they get wandering around, they'll peck at the water and find the water.
Put a spoon in there to show them how big they are. A regular spoon.
Okay.
And the humidity's already rising in there, which is good.
Well, let me put a quarter in there. That'll show them it's better. Better yet. The button quail are about the size of a nickel. Curled up. These, here's a quarter. That kind of show you the size of these guys. They're about the size of a 50-cent piece. They're tiny. That one must love money. He's sleeping on it.
It's a female. It's a female.
It's got to be a female loves money. You got to take your quarter there, baby.
Or my son.
Your son likes money, but...
Well, my son is a very frugal young man, which is a good thing.
Yeah, he's a good kid.
Yes, he is.
Now they're going to need their sleep. So that was 12 hatched, right? Plus the 2 buttons so far.
And then there's the little Quay baby, kind of. The Texas A&M and Coturnic.
Jumbo brown.
So they're cute.
Alright, they'll get dried off. They're kind of wet, so...
They probably feel good in the heat.
Well, they've got heat in the incubator too, dear.
That's what I said. They probably feel good under the heat.
I think the heat is... Yeah, it's throwing plenty of heat. As far as the buttons go, we can... I could probably put this in over on the other side with a bulb on the other side and put the buttons in this until we set up their brooder. But that will be tonight. That will be when I get home at 3 o'clock.
Excuse the messy room. This is the result of last night's, yesterday bringing in the rest of the laundry from the table before I went to bed. Finishing up laundry today.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah, I'm exhausted. I've been up since 1 o'clock with this, setting everything up, getting things ready for the babies. Oh, I'm sorry, I almost knocked that out of your hand.
We had a little extra work this weekend.
Yeah. Well, I wanted to get the greenhouse done, and we didn't have any hatch until later in the afternoon yesterday, so I wasn't sure if it was going to even... See how the when I put the hot water in there, it brought the temperature back up so it didn't lose. You can see the windows are fogging up already.
Mm-hmm.
That's from the hot water, bringing the humidity up. That'll help them babies hatch. They have to have that humidity because inside these shells is like it's like a leather. If it gets dried out, they can't bust out of it.
You can hardly crack them open.
Yeah, and they do a good job about getting out of there. But they have to have that humidity to get out. So it's a good thing that we keep that humidity up for them. So those windows will fog up a little bit, and then maybe they'll dry back up a little bit. But
also, the Quail were jumping in with the little babies.
yeah, they were jumping over there. Next time, I'm going to do a little bit something a little higher, a little different, to keep them separated. But we have some of our own button quail eggs. We have 6 right now, and some of our jumbos from out in the barn, and that's going to be the next incubating. And these button eggs over here are from our auction quail.
Hey, I got a question for you. Will the Texas A&M breed with the...
Yes, they're quail. They're the same species, only they're hybrid.
So what happens if if they have babies, they'll be half Texas A&M, like a mongrel chicken?
A&M.
A&M, I'm sorry.
And they won't be a mongrel. They'll be a quail.
But will they be
You can still eat them, but they will probably be dark meat quail.
Okay, that's what I was wondering. If how that works. Okay. So is that one guy okay? Is he just sleeping?
Yeah, he's resting.
They look so funny sometimes when they sleep because they look like they're dead.
They just drop.
Yeah.
They're so exhausted when they're full of energy. I put the water is a little warmer than room temperature, and I put a teaspoon of sugar in the water. That gives them extra energy. Now that one there is probably going to be the first one to drink, I'm sure.
That little boy's moving around now.
Yeah, he'll be all right.
Oh, somebody's going to drink yet?
Well, nobody's drank yet. They're still exhausted.
Oh, yeah.
And poor little babies are tired. It takes a lot of energy to bust out of that shell. So these guys are going to be the healthiest of the bunch. The first ones out are always the healthiest. But they're also the ones that teach the other ones how to eat. That one's got black marks on its head. Little spots. And he's walking around pretty good too.
So he might be a mongrel?
No. Texas A&M have a black spot.
Oh, they do?
Yes, they're white quail with a black spot.
Okay.
Sometimes on the head, sometimes on the back.
Okay.
If you see videos on Texas A&M, but we'll keep everybody. I'm going to turn that other baby over.
Yeah, so I was wondering if he's struggling to get over.
He's trying to dry out, and
I'm trying to get close to Clay, but I don't want to...
Come on, baby. Come on over here.
Yeah.
Turn it on there. There you go.
This is why you want your animals, if possible, in this house, so that...
You can keep an eye on them.
Yeah.
The first 3 days on quail and baby chicks are the most critical, because you have to make sure they're eating and drinking, and once you get past day 3, he's flipped back over again. He'll dry out. He'll be fine. I got to get him some feed ground up.
Once you get past day 3, what?
Once you get past day 3, they're usually in good shape. You don't have to worry about them quite so much there. But as you can see, this is the baby chick feed, and it is pretty good size.
And we got to grind it this morning.
We got to grind about a cup of it to get them so that I could probably sift this with a sifter, but I want to grind a little bit because I want them all to get a chance to eat.
So Clay still has, so this is part of what we do. He still has to go to work today. We got to make lunch. We got to make breakfast. And so he's been up since what, 1 o'clock?
1 o'clock.
And he didn't wake me up, but he's got to go to work all day, too.
And I'll be home at 3 o'clock, and I'll probably get the extra other babies out of the brooder, get them in here with these guys. By then, these guys should be eating and drinking, which will teach the other babies that are going to dry off in here how to eat and drink as they dry off.
Plus, you might
And
have
I will fall asleep in the chair, I'm sure.
Plus, you might have a friend that might pop in for a second.
For some eggs.
Show them the eggs quick about how we're doing with that,
Well,
since we're right on the subject.
He wanted a few guinea hen eggs, so I gave him some. I put a G on the top of them so he'd know that they're the guinea hen eggs. Then I have some of the black Australorp eggs for him, and I also gave him a few of the quail eggs and a few more chicken eggs. So he's got about 8 chicken eggs. And
so what Clay's doing is he's tipping these back and forth to keep them turning.
keep them turning. I could do it on this, but there's no chicken things here, and he's going to pick them up this afternoon anyway. So about noon, I'll have Ruthie just turn them this way.
So the yolk doesn't...
So that they don't stick to the side. And that's what the mother does. Each day she lays an egg, she just rolls them around when she lays her next egg. Alright, there, the baby drank. That's the first drink right there.
So...
Yeah. Alright.
We better get busy.
People were asking, before I sign off, people were asking about the waters for the quail. And these, if you go to a feed store, this is a chicken water for baby chicks. Okay? Same water container. You fill it up with the, warm water. Not hot water, but a little more than room temperature. And this is a quail water. I'll show you the difference side by side. A quail would get in here and drown. All they can do is get their head in here. These are perfect. But these are not perfect for button quail, because button quail would fit right in here and drown. So what you have to do with a button quail is you have to take like a cap, almost like a pop bottle cap, and use that for water. Put like a marble in the middle so they can't fall into it, and they'll drink water out of that. Okay, so if you're going to raise quail, stop at a Tractor Supply that sells chicks and chicken things, and you can get these. Or you can order them online, but if you order them on eBay, people are selling these for $12 on eBay. Don't go there. I think they're like $2.50 at the Tractor Supply. So do yourself a favor, save some money. For $12 you can buy half a dozen of them. Okay? So that's a little tidbit for you, that anybody that was asking about quail waters and that, you can see the difference. And these are great for Texas A&M or jumbo browns. And most people raise that type of quail because you can eat them. Button quail, you can't eat them. I still go with the pop bottle, the rabbit water for the quail, and
these are button quail.
These are button quail, and they're small enough. They're as big as the Coturnics at 2 weeks old.
And they're house birds.
Yeah, they're pretty much house birds.
You wouldn't want.
And they're very quiet. I mean, you could have them in the city, and nobody even know you had them as pets.
They don't. They make once in a while you hear
parrots scream, parakeets chirp.
If you want a quiet bird for a pet,
these
this is
are
that.
A quiet bird. And they'll lay eggs too. You could even eat the eggs if you wanted, but you'd have to have like 6 or 8 to make a meal.
Well, and when they do make a sound, it's very pleasant.
Yeah.
And it's usually, you said it might be for the breeding.
It's when they're breeding.
But for the most part, they're perfect. They're completely quiet.
The dark one's the male, and the brown and the white are females. And they've been laying eggs. One lays a brown egg, the other one lays a green egg. And I'm believing that the white one's the one that lays the green egg.
But if you don't like a lot of noise, these are the perfect bird for that.
We want to hatch out some of these because the buttons that are in here are a different type of button. These are a dark white and brown, or white and supposed to be like a dark color like the male there, dark gray and white. These are tuxedos is what these are. And we don't have any of the whites other than the eggs. So hopefully we hatch out some of them. We'll have some whites too.
Plus we're going to tame them up.
Ruthie wants a colony.
Yes, plus we're going to tame. We did that with the finches and found out that's how the best way to breed them.
Yeah.
Because
you have to be careful with quail because the males get aggressive and want to fight if they don't have the room to spread out.
And at that point, we'll have enough cages to separate, and we know enough farmers that they'll be like rushing over.
If we only have like a few pair of each type, it won't hurt because you can keep a pair of button quail in just a regular normal bird cage, and they still have plenty of room to, as long as they have a water bottle and something to eat. Now, as you can see, we've got, you'll find this type of feeder at Tractor Supply, and all I did was I took a mayonnaise, one of them plastic mayonnaise jars, and cut the top out of it, and just fill it with non-medicated chick feed. And
because medicated
is bad for their livers, and they will not survive very long.
And the word from Ruthie to everybody: don't let one out, because in the beginning I took.
Yeah, if they get out in your house, you'll never catch them again.
I took one out in the beginning.
But if you raise them from chicks, there's people that have raised them from chicks and can handle them.
Right. Well, that's what we want to make them friendly.
These guys were out of an auction, so there's no way these guys are ever going to be friendly enough to touch them.
They run so fast.
Yeah.
You'll remember that.
Hopefully, these babies out of the incubator, if Ruthie holds them and touches them while they're tiny, they'll be used to being held, and there won't be any problems.
Right. I want to tame some of those up, a few of them up.
But you can also buy these feeders, and they take the same top, this white top, because they sell these and the bottoms separately than these. So these are interchangeable with all of this stuff, the waters, chicken feeders. These are good enough for large babies, but what you want to do with the tiny babies is get just a little dish that they can get in and out of. Alright, I guess that's about it. I'm exhausted. I gotta have another cup of coffee. Still got to go to work yet.
Grind
baby feed and get them all going. Alright, this is Clay and Ruthie at 3 o'clock in the morning saying goodbye and God bless, and hopefully everybody enjoys watching the baby birds, and we'll have more by evening, I'm sure. Okay, bye-bye.